Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. In this video, I will be returning to a challenge that I set myself last year to make the dresses from the picnic scene in Seven Brides for Seven Brothers. This is the third one that I will be making. The other two that I have done previously are the lilac gingham worn by Julie Newmar and the yellow dress worn by Vicky Carr. In this video, I will be tackling the pink gingham that was worn by Virginia Gibson. You can see Virginia Gibson in a few Hollywood films from the 1950s. She also appears in Funny Face with Audrey Hepburn and the film Athena with Debbie Reynolds. One of the things that I have forgotten to mention in the previous two videos is the continuity of this scene. If you watch carefully, the girls have two dresses, two skirts. One, a long floor length one for the acting scenes, and then a shorter version for the dancing scenes. Although if you watch really carefully in the dancing sequence, there's one take where they're wearing their long skirts. Don't know what the reason was for this. Also, if you watch Virginia Gibson carefully, you'll notice that her hair comes out of place several times and then it's miraculously put back into place in the next take. I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you at the end with the finished product. For this dress, I'm using this fabric that came from John Lewis department store. I bought it about 8 months ago. I start by cutting the 3 skirt panels. I sew these together using a 1-inch seam allowance. Once the skirt panels are sewn together, I then sew in the placket. I then put in the gathering threads, pull these up and sew the skirt onto a Petersham waistband. To cover the waistband, I sew on a strip of the gingham fabric and top stitch it in place. I finally hem the skirt, sewing it down by hand with a slip stitch. I then move on to the sleeves, cutting out 4 upper and 4 under sleeves. I then join the pieces together and sew the sleeve and the lining together around the bottom of the sleeve. It will then be sewn into the bodice as one sleeve in the armhole. The undersleeve is made up of a bishop sleeve at the bottom and a fitted sleeve at the top. I put gathering threads into both ends of the bishop sleeve. I then pull them up and sew the bishop sleeve onto the bottom of the fitted sleeve. And then sew the underarm seam together. I then move on to cutting out the bodice backing and top fabric. For the backing fabric, I'm just using a plain white cotton. Here you see me putting the darts into the backing front panel. These are sewn separately from the top fabric, which is then placed on top. I've top stitched the darts in as far as the underbust. I then cut into the fabric and gather it up by hand. Then I top stitch the bias cut panel on the top. I then sew the bodice together in the normal way, leaving the side seams open. Here I am making the piping for the neck edge. This is sewn onto the gathered neck panel and sewn down by hand on the underside. I then finally sew the side seams together. I finish the bottom edge of the bodice with a strip of bias cut gingham. And lastly, sew in the sleeves. The sash is made from 2 pieces of bias cut cotton in a darker shade of pink. These are sewn together and the edge is finished. And here she is. I'm really happy with how this one has turned out, probably more so than the last one. I know everyone is my favourite when I do them, but I think this one and the Julie Newmar are the favourites of the 3 that I've made so far. In between making this one and the one before it, I got the film on Blu-ray, so I was able to see a lot more of the detail that was going on in these dresses, and I discovered that there was no side seam like we know it. The side seam is actually placed, there's a slightly forward facing seam and then the back seam, so there isn't actually a seam in the side area, and also the princess line seam in the back goes into the armhole rather than into the shoulder. And they also match the pattern at the top of the princess seam so that it runs in a line from the shoulder down and then it's off at the waist. I'd like to thank my patrons who have made this project possible, and if you have enjoyed this video and would like to see more, please remember to like and subscribe and to press the bell icon to get a notification whenever I upload a new video. I hope to see you very soon, and thanks again for watching.